Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Got a couple of things to talk about in today's video, including Valve apparently working on Steam Cloud Gaming according to a partner site code update. Partners will need to sign a brand new piece to their terms, and could this be somewhat of a competitor to Google Stadia? I'll talk all about that. Red Dead Redemption 2 just dropped on PC, and it came with its fair share of controversy with the PC version. A hilarious workaround that makes you not having to use Rockstar Launcher, which is absolutely hilarious. I'll talk that at the end of this video. But first up, with the advent of Google Stadia and the impending launch of that, there's a lot to talk about. Google Stadia, of course, will be dropping November 19th, and it's Google's streaming service, and it looks like Valve is working on a little bit of a counter to that. According to Steam database, Valve is working on the Steam Cloud Gaming according to partner site code update, and by all means, this is looking to be somewhat of a competitor to Google Stadia. I imagine that Valve took notice of that, and they do want to fire back some way. Now, cloud gaming as a whole, we could talk about that for hours on end. I'll give you guys my concise viewpoint on cloud gaming. I think cloud gaming can work. I do think that the internet capabilities for the majority of people are not at that level yet. I mean, I've tried PlayStation Now, I've tried streaming services in the past, and I have relatively good internet. I'm on a wired connection, so you would think that I would have one of the better experiences when you compare the entire, global aspect of gamers that are around the globe, and ultimately you do want to get streaming out there globally. I feel like I would have one of the better experiences utilizing one of these services. And even with me, PlayStation Now was definitely playable. I had a good time playing some of the games. I played like Infamous 2, and I had a really good time playing that game through PlayStation Now. However, even then, I noticed some issues, and I noticed some latency issues, and especially when you move away from a game like Infamous 2, and let's say you're playing a game like Killzone, a fast-paced first-person shooter, that is going to lend itself to having a lot more problems when you start having latency issues and whatever the case may be. And again, I have better internet connection. I have decent internet service, and I'm on a wired connection. What happens when you move away from that and somebody is on wireless connection? Automatically, if you're on wireless connection, that is going to put you at a significant handicap. And then you add in the fact of how good is your internet in general. There are a lot of hurdles to overcome with cloud gaming. I understand why everybody's getting into it right now. It's an investment into the future, and ultimately, if you can get people on board, if you can get them signing up to these subscription services, that's just residual revenue that you can generate for years on end. The issue with Google Stadia, in my opinion, is based on how I know it works. I think the business model is all effed up. They have a monthly subscription plan, but then you're also gonna have to drop money on the games. First of all, if you're streaming those games, you have to marginalize the cost for the games themselves. They can no longer be $50 to $60 to ease access to these games, and just streaming in general. A big element of these streaming features, whether it be Netflix, whether it be Hulu, whether it be all the various sports having monthly subscription services that are a lot cheaper than dropping $50 or $60 on a game, you can't do that. You can't have a monthly subscription service and then also charge money for the games. That's just absolutely not going to work. Yes, I know you can get into Google Stadia without having to buy an expensive box, but still, ultimately, whenever you get into video games, especially if you're buying a lot of games, you're going to be spending more money on the games themselves than the box. And when I look at it, buying like a gaming PC, you have a computer, you have so much more you can do with a computer as a whole than Google Stadia, and ultimately you're probably going to be spending a lot less money on the games, and those are games you can have locally downloaded. I'm not here to just crap all over streaming, because that's not what I want to do. I do think streaming games can be effective. However, I think the best route to go is to go the Netflix model. You have a monthly subscription service where it's $10, $15, even $20 a month, but that'll give you access to a plethora of games. That's the only way I see it working. You can't do it if you're charging $60 or $50 a game. You can't do it if you're charging a monthly subscription fee and then you gotta pay $50 or $60 for the game. You can't even do it, in my opinion, where it's a streaming service and then the games are still $50 to $60. I don't think you can do that anymore if you want to go the streaming route. You have to make these games super accessible and super cheap. And if you want to sell them standalone, I don't think I'm being hyperbolic in saying this. I think at most you can be charging is $25 to $30 for these games. I think you would want to just do a subscription service that is $15 to $20 a month, and that'll just give you a plethora of games, and you can pick and choose and play games that way. I do think going the Netflix route and offering all of these games to play at once for one monthly subscription cost is the way to go. However, it doesn't look like that Stadia is going to be doing that, at least not with the newest games. I understand why it might be a little bit difficult to put, all of the latest and greatest games. Like, could you imagine a $10 to $20 subscription service that included games like Baldur's Gate 3, 3, Borderlands 3, all of these games that are coming out, all included in a streaming service. Even if it was streaming, if it was $10 to $20 a month, at that point, I do think it could be a compelling option and people would check it out. In the current version and the current iteration that Stadia is going for, I just don't think it's going to be something that a lot of people are going to check out. We've seen the reception of PlayStation Now. For a long time, they tried to get away with a $20 a month subscription cost. They didn't offer a ton of new and exciting games. What did they have to do? They had to offer PlayStation 4 game direct downloads, and they had to lower the cost to $10 a month. You just see how the general reception to streaming video games is right now. If you want people to jump on board, you gotta make it extra enticing for them, while also finding this balance of you're not, burning through so much money where it doesn't make sense to continue the service. I think Microsoft is doing really well with Xbox Game Pass, but of course, that's local downloads, that's downloading directly to your box. I know that at some point Microsoft is going to want to get into the game streaming business as well. They're trying to get that off the ground, and I'm sure that's going to be a big element with the next Xbox and Project Scarlet. It's just right now, I don't think the consumer is there all invested into game streaming, and if you want to get them invested, you got to do something where it's very, very cheap. I even remember prior to Xbox Game Pass, people weren't completely sold on a subscription service, paying $10 a month and having access to all of these games. But look at what they did. They made Xbox Game Pass a more and more compelling service. And ultimately, if you want to get people to jump on over and start streaming their games and accessing games in a new way, you have to do it in a compelling fashion. And I just don't think it's compelling to be spending, a monthly subscription cost and then dropping $50 to $60 on games. I just don't think that's going to fly with the majority of people. We'll see how the exact rollout goes, but that's just my 2 cents on that. And of course, I should be talking about Steam possibly working on a competitor. I think that's best for everybody involved. Why did Microsoft go so into Xbox Game Pass? Well, they needed to offer a service that was compelling, that made people want to get an Xbox over a PlayStation. I really do believe that's one of the main reasons they put so many eggs into the Xbox Game Pass basket, because it was something that differentiated themselves from PlayStation, from Sony, and a lot of people I do know bought an Xbox just because of that. And if Steam has something, and if they're competing with Stadia, and if Steam does go the right way and Valve goes the right way of doing how I think it should be done, where it's just games at a subscription cost, or how about this? What if it's integrated into Steam and they're starting to offer you games? You pay $60 for them or whatever the cost is, and you have the option to either download them or stream them directly. I think that could be very interesting. That wouldn't be an additional cost. You still get to own the game. You get to download the game if you so want. Just a refined version of PlayStation Now, so to speak. And then ultimately, if you did want to do a subscription service as well, I do think that that could work. But I think Valve is going to understand the business model and what PC gamers are willing to do much better than Google and what Stadia is going for. I don't want to crap all over Stadia because I do think there's potential here. However, I do think it's going to require to go through a few iterations. It's going to require some changes, and I don't know how well it's going to do initially. That's just my 2 cents. Alright, moving on from that, I do want to quickly note Red Dead Redemption 2 has dropped on PC. Maybe this one under your radar a little bit because the Steam version has yet to drop. That'll be coming later in December. However, it is available on the Rockstar Game Store as well as the Epic Game Store. It is launching with its fair share of issues. If you go onto the Metacritic page, the PC version of the game has a 94 from critics. That's based on 5 critic reviews. However, if you look at the user reviews, that really paints a much different picture. It's at a 3.0 user score, and that's based on 697 user reviews. A lot of zeros there. A lot of people are experiencing issues. I've heard some people are having troubles even launching the game. This is why I think it was best case scenario for us to just wait for the Steam release. Hopefully they'll get all of these issues ironed out. And I somewhat expected this to be a problem with Red Dead Redemption 2 because if you remember with GTA 5, the PC version took quite a while after their announcement to actually be released. With Red Dead Redemption 2, it seemed like it kind of just all came together rather quickly, and I didn't know how much emphasis they were putting into the PC version of the game. I thought they were putting a lot, given that they're trying to launch their own games launcher. Whatever the case may be, it has a lot of work to be done, and hopefully it gets better and better, and by the time the Steam release is ready to be released, the game is at a working state, because I do think if you put the game on Steam, let's say middle of December, come the Steam winter sale, you discount it 10 to 15%, I think people will be all over it, and it'll be one of the top sellers on Steam. Also, very funny story that's going around right now. If you want to play RDR2 without the Rockstar Games Launcher, someone actually specified replace PlayRDR2.exe with a no launcher version You can bypass the Rockstar Games launcher by replacing the PlayRDR2.exe, the exe launcher for RDR2, with a no launcher version. You can download that and it works directly with Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm sure Rockstar is gonna fix that or whatever, but just funny that something like that fell through the cracks. Really funny that people are just testing out weird things like that and finding out that stuff like this works. Whatever. It works for now. I'm sure it'll get remedied in the near future, and that would honestly be not even like an update to the game. That would honestly be making the game worse, but whatever. I'm waiting for the Steam release. I'll pick it up then. Hopefully all of the issues have been mended by then. And that's gonna conclude this video, guys. Again, it looks like Steam is working on their own cloud gaming service to combat Stadia. Based on a lot of partner site code updates, I do think ultimately this is where they're gonna go. And let me know if you've checked out RDR2 yet. If you bought it on the Rockstar Games launcher, maybe you're enjoying it. Maybe it works really well for you. Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments section down below, and that's gonna wrap up this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.